When you travel south after the old Aarhus, you quickly find yourself in the Salisbury forest, a beautiful piece of nature that has been enjoyed by city dwellers for at least the past 100 years. As you enter the forest, it's not long before you find the Varna Pavilion, which is white facade and two red tile towers. It looking out over both the sea and the forest. This building has been a place of joy and happiness for at least the past 100 years. But how did it get here? The name Varna actually predates the current pavilion and was initially given to a watermill built here sometime around 1592. But information from that time is a bit hazy. The first time Varna appears in writing is in 1829, at least writing that survived until today. The name is believed to have been given by the Baron of Mercedesborg, who owned the land the mill sat on. He served in the Russian Tsar's military around the Black Sea, and it's likely here he heard or visited the fort or city of Varna. However, Varna, the watermill, closed in 1877 and stood abandoned at least until 1896, where Aarhus City Council bought the Varna estate from the Crown. This purchase opened up the forest to the public that soon arrived by both land and sea. But beside the beautiful nature, there wasn't much to do. So, on March 16, 1899, the idea of a forest restaurant was aired on an Aarhus City Council meeting. This led to architecture competition, but the project died out sometime after a winner was selected. But the idea was not forgotten. So 8 years later, when Aarhus was planning the national exhibition, the concept of a forest restaurant returned. This time things moved fast. The architect Eggert Agden was chosen to design the new restaurant. However, he was forced to make several design changes after he had presented his design to the public due to public backlash. But work began in 1908. The restaurant stood finished in June 1909. Aarhus City Council owned the restaurant, but handled daily operations to S.P. Nielsen, who quickly turned Varna into one of the most popular places in town, or at least in the summer months, as Varna at the time didn't have heating or electricity. S.P. Nielsen's main focus was entertainment, so Varna threw several parties throughout the summer. All of these had entertainment by some of the time's popular musicians, authors, actors or poets. These parties were often described as having informal, private energy, even though tickets were sold to anybody from Aarhus's many newsstands. In 1915, the lower decks around the building was enclosed in glass as we see it today. This was followed by electricity in 1916, but Varna was still only open in the summer months, as proper heating first became available in 1930. The heating allowed for a longer opening season. It was used to expand the events with concerts, dancing competitions, literary events and big light parties where up to 20,000 people came to the restaurant and the surrounding area. Good things never last, and in 1970 Varna was no longer a safe investment for Aarhus City Council, so they sold it to the Oddfellow Lodge. The lodge took over the upper floors for their lodge activities, while the ground floor was rented out for restaurant use. And so it's been ever since. Not much has happened since the lodge took over in 1970, except maybe for a controversial design change in the 1970s that was quickly changed back. The pavilion is in good care and have undergone major renovations in 1984 and 2010, so I expect fine dining with a view over sea and forest to be possible here at Varna for the next 100 years to come.